I'm ready.
All right. All right. Welcome to the LWIA 23 quarterly board meeting on September 19th, 2022. Again, just to remind you, we are being recorded, so be mindful of what you say. And if you speak, project to the owl. And with that, I will turn it over to Gerald.
All right, we want to welcome everyone to my first meeting as chairperson. So we appreciate you still showing up. We appreciate all the work that Pat put into it. Big shoes to fill. I don't know what size, but say that anyway. It'd be nice to him. But no, we appreciate all of those efforts. And for those of you that don't know me, I am Gerald Ballou, owner of Pump Repair Specialist in Oblong, Illinois. It's been around since 1989. We founded the business back in 1989. I started here as with LWIA CEO back in 2011, 2012. As I said, on the county board, I was appointed by our county board chairman, Joe Bliss, at the time to sit in. And then as I became the board chairman for my last 6 years, I just wanted to stay on. Reappointed myself. So stayed on. And now we've served here as a board member the last few years, and then as Pat's vice chair for him, stepping on occasion, not very often. Pat is pretty loyal to be here. So, but we want to welcome everyone. And with that, we are going to ask Debbie to call roll, please.
Gerald Ballou,
Present.
Jim Boland, Kevin Beaker,
Here.
Kevin Butcher, Brian Cannon,
Here.
Pat Cook, Dave Cole, Mike Conrad, Hoffman, and Pat Walter. Here. Adam Slack or Carolyn Robinson. Present. Tiffany Mackey or Courtney Yawkey.
Here.
Nancy Martin,
Here.
Josh McElravy. Patty Metzger or Steve Burkholder. Julie Overmark. Here. Stacy Carr. John Terry. Lori Foreman. Here. Deb Reed. Sydney Limbaugh for Louis Riding. Here. Anthony Smith. Chris Cole. Here. Kim Taylor. Here. Carol Tracy. Connie Logan. Jason Warple.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay. Austin Dillon.
Here. Are we good, Debbie?
Yes, we are. Quorum.
All right, great. Okay, with that, hopefully you've had the opportunity to review the meetings, the minutes from our last meeting. You have a chance to review those. Do I hear of any changes, corrections that you may have, errors that may have occurred in what you read? If none, I will ask for a motion to approve. Can I have a motion? Motion, a second? All right. So with that, with all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, thank you very much. So as we get into item 3, conflict of interest, anyone have a conflict? Pretty light agenda tonight, so I would not suspect it would be. Is please speak up. All right, if not, then we'll move right on to item 4. And Nate, you're up with board training.
Real quick, I'm just going to interject here. Board training. This is it's a new segment that we're putting into the board meeting. Previously, before COVID, this would have been the time that we had a guest speaker. But since we have so many new board members coming on even today, and then we're expecting more in December, I thought it would be a good time to kind of review all of the different programs that we have going on and help you get a better understanding of some of the day-to-day stuff that we do. So we are starting out with Nate, who's going to give a presentation on apprenticeships, and then just going forward, expect there to be a little bit of board training at every meeting. And I'm always taking feedback on if you think that this is working or not working, or you want to see something else. Thank you, Nate. Sorry.
Thank you, Jamie.
Good evening, everybody. Lots of familiar faces I see out here tonight, lots of new faces too. So either way, as a reminder or an introduction, my name is Nate Carlson, and I am the Apprenticeship Navigator for LWIA 23. Think of me as a consultant between local employers and the Department of Labor to assist in the process of registering apprenticeship programs. So why do businesses conduct or host apprenticeships? Well, it's no secret there's a lot of common pain points being shared across industries right now. We have unfilled job openings, not just at the entry level, but as more and more folks are retiring, some caused by the pandemic, some just getting older, there's lots of mid-level and even high-level positions that are going unfilled for months and months as well. And so you'll see employers who are posting the same job on Indeed.com or wherever day after day, taking months and spending a lot of money just to get somebody in there. And when they do, the next week they got Indeed pulled up in their job, in their browser tab, and they leave in a month. So clearly we see a desire for retention and increased recruitment opportunities. And on the part of the employees, we see a desire for clear advancement paths. And so apprenticeship ultimately provides all of these things, and along with them, gives us the opportunity to increase opportunity and diversity in our workforce, but also the opportunity to build a strong company culture. As by creating those layers of transparency and opportunities within our businesses, we show that anyone can succeed. So an apprenticeship has 5 main components that I always like to stress. First things first, although these programs are developed with my assistance and registered with the Department of Labor, neither myself nor the Department of Labor ever tells any business what to do with their apprenticeship. The business has complete control of their development of their program. I don't tell them what classes their apprentices have to take. I don't tell them what their apprentice has to learn. We customize each program to fit the need of each occupation at each employer. Apprenticeship is a model for earning and learning. The apprentice receives a combination of classroom instruction at one of our great local education institutions, combined with one-on-one mentorship from a journey worker on the job. The related classroom instruction works towards some sort of nationally recognized occupational credential, in addition to the journey worker certificate they receive from the DOL. Throughout their apprenticeship, apprentices receive a progressive wage. What that means is if you've got a journey worker who's making $22 an hour, when the apprentice starts out, let's say they're making 12 or 14. As they move throughout the apprenticeship, they gain wage increases either through time or competency thresholds. And so they see real-time rewards as they're gaining skills. As I mentioned, our apprentices receive a nationally recognized occupational credential, and that looks a little bit different for every occupation. It might be a license, a certificate, a degree, whatever piece of paper tells folks in your industry that this person is competent at their job. This fosters employee loyalty. The employer sponsors, aka funds the apprentice's education, and that does a lot for that individual. It gives them real investment in the success and growth of that company, and it gives them a career pathway to succeed with your company. Which ultimately, because the apprentice is receiving the best of that classroom education combined with the best training on the job, it's going to increase their productivity. Because you've made an investment in them, they return that investment in you, so they reduce your turnover, and everybody wins. So you hear all this, you say, okay, great, the apprentice gets free school and they get this great wage, what do I get? Well, apprenticeship is an investment, but it's a worthwhile investment. Apprenticeship employers receive an average ROI of $1.50 on the dollar. Additionally, for every active apprentice an employer has per year, they receive a $3,500 to $5,000 tax credit from DCEO. This provides employers with the ability to upskill their workforce. So let's say you have an entry-level, custodian or somebody on your, warehouse team who shows a lot of promise, commitment, drive to their job, but they don't have the credentials they need to move up in your company. Through apprenticeship, through the funds we have available through WIO and LWIA 23, you can now take that person up through the career ladder in your organization. Additionally, through WIO, we have the potential for tuition or wage reimbursement. And a lot of people hear the word apprentice and they think, the trades, or I always say 1600s blacksmith or Star Wars, but apprenticeship is actually open to all industries. There's over 1,300 different occupations already registered with the Department of Labor. I always say everything from aviator to zoologist. So what that means is no matter what your company looks like, no matter what roles you're looking to fill, we can develop an apprenticeship program for you. And you say, okay, all this sounds great, but I don't really want to work with the federal government any more in my life than I already do. And that's where I come in. My job is to handle all the paperwork so you don't have to make it a streamlined and simple process. In as little as 2 meetings, we can take your program from just an idea to being almost fully registered. In addition to this general model we have, we can also extend the apprenticeship model to youth apprenticeships to work alongside existing high school co-op programs, which means employers can snag the local talent before they leave the area. I always say there's really pernicious lie that exists in our communities and in this region that in order to be successful, you have to leave. An apprenticeship provides individuals starting out in high school with a career path that says, hey, this employer is going to make an investment in you. They're going to give you a career pathway right here to succeed, where the cost of living is a lot lower. Additionally, the employer also receives a tax credit for the youth apprenticeship, provided they're paying for some sort of dual credit program. And as soon as the apprentice graduates and moves into the college or higher education, they begin full-time work. Additionally, I always like to say, we're forgetting the word internship and we're switching to pre-apprenticeship. Thinking about internships or job shadow programs or existing career outreach stuff within your organization as pre-apprenticeship helps to prime that talent pipeline we're trying to generate in our community. So any sort of part-time work, internship, all of that can become what we call pre-apprenticeship. It's non-registered and non-incentivized, but you can still work with me to develop those things in combination with a registered apprenticeship program. And this stuff can begin as early as primary school. A lot of you who are business owners or have friends who are business owners, do you think a lot of 3rd to 5th graders know what your company does? If they don't, we got to change that. Because if they know in 3rd grade what your company does and they know in high school they can get a job with you, they're going to be a lot more likely to work with you. We work with a number of educational partners in the community to provide these apprenticeship programs. Eastern Lakeland, the IECC schools, IMEC, SIU, Kaskaskia College, any educational provider that you think would be a good fit, we can implement in an apprenticeship program that can look like online providers as well. In the time since we've started, we've registered programs with these companies, the Equity in Effingham, Crooked Creek Winery in Centralia, and Three Sisters Logistics at Teutopolis. We have a number of programs currently in development with a lot of organizations. Landercore out of Brownstown, Mac Plastics, Medford Helco, Seymour Milling. Just today, we started getting started on Montessori Kids Universe program right here in Effingham. Rural King and Nutrient, two that we're really excited about. So apprenticeships are growing. This is all that we've kind of worked on just since I started in April, and it's just going to snowball from here. The more that employers hear about this model, the more they like what they hear. And the more they hear their competitors are getting into it, the more they think, oh, I need to get into this. So it's a really excellent and proven model, and we're hoping to see this continue to grow. Since I started, we've done outreach with Charleston Chamber, Mattoon Chamber, Laura, Fayette County, Effingham, Salem, RCDC, and Alney, Pedco. We've also done events with Effingham County Chamber, Network Magazine. We wrote a featured article. Courtney Aki's here. We did a webinar with Business Navigator Alliance in June that went really great. Jamie and I appeared on WIU for their radio TV show. Just last week, we were fortunate to host a really exciting event with Effingham County Chamber right here in Effingham, where we had a panel of our apprenticeship employers, some old, some new. So we had North American Lighting, Quad Graphics, the Equity, and Three Sisters Logistics. And they got to talk to the community of employers and local ed providers about their experiences with apprenticeship, what kind of spurred them on to do that. You got something?
I just wanted to say the Effingham County Chamber of Apprenticeship, these two did excellent job. They're very professional, got a lot of good information out to the community, to not only business leaders, but also educators.
Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate that. Yeah, we were really happy with how it went. We had a really great group in the audience there, and we've already gotten so many emails and phone calls filling up my calendar just based off that event, which goes to show when people call me to do events, it works out for everybody. So I always say, fill up my calendar. That said, we do have some upcoming events that I just wanted to share with you. In October, I'm going to be on a panel with DCEO for National Manufacturing Month to talk about the apprenticeship model. And then we're actually going to be hosting an apprenticeship event for National Apprenticeship Week in November. Where we'll be doing not only a panel of employers and apprentices, but we're also going to be doing what I think is pretty cool, a signing event, just like, you know, athletes will do a signing event with the backdrop and the swag. We're going to be doing that for apprentices, kind of build up the hype around apprenticeships and say that this is something to be proud of and excited and celebrated too. So we're looking forward to all of that and proud of what we accomplished. And if you have questions about this, or if you think this would be implementable, at your business or a friend's business or a business in your community, get in contact with me. Like I said, my calendar is open to you and to our community to help develop these programs. So Any questions?
What are the eligibility requirements for participation in this type of apprenticeship program?
Absolutely. So any organization can host an apprenticeship. I just met this morning with Sandoval. They want to do something for Public Works and for their police department. They're eligible. In terms of individuals who can be apprentices, you're never too old to be an apprentice. You can always start that journey. So there's no, in terms of eligibility, anybody's available to offer one, and anyone can be an apprentice. So.
And what areas do you cover? Is it this sort of South Central Illinois area?
13 counties of LWIA 23. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Well, if there's no other questions, I want to thank you for letting me be your board training today, and thank you for supporting LWIA 23 in all our efforts. Thanks.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it very much. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea, Jamie. I mean, when I came on the board, there were so many facets of this, I had no clue. As one of the board members I brought from Crawford County, she goes, this was like ABC soup. I just didn't ever get it. You know? So it's good that we're having these little things that will help us understand the process better and be able to help our community. So thank you very much. So with that, we'll move on to item 5, our committee reports, oversight and planning. Oh, you get to do it. I saw Mike right here. So go ahead, Chris. Thanks.
Oversight and planning, we met last Thursday, the 15th at 4:30 at the Food Center. We did receive reports from Debbie on our grant recipient. So we saw the expenditures, we saw accounts payable. We talked about key metrics, training and overhead, our contract budget, MOU billing, incumbent worker projects up to date, and then also talked about the annual audit from Lakeland College. We also were able to see performance reports and program and monitoring reports that happened during that time frame.
Good. And
I'm doing all 3 committees.
Are you going to do the youth mix?
I'm going to do youth match, yeah. Youth met today at 3 o'clock. We did not have a quorum. We did talk about a little bit of the composure of our youth committee and how to move our youth committee forward. We are also waiting on the WIA reauthorization to see what will be included in there as far as youth is concerned. So we did not vote on anything or approve any minutes because we did not have a quorum. We also had consortium committee, so I'm just going to go ahead with consortium. That's okay. We had consortium committee at 4 o'clock right here in this room. We also went through, Jamie gave us an update on the business service team. We heard from Elaine on our one-stop reopening. So today was the first day of the one-stop being open, that customers could come in without a prior appointment to see Title I, to see Title III IDES. They will still need an appointment, but it's nice that we are able to bring people in. Elaine also talked about our resource room specialist that is now available to not only help individuals with their resumes, but also job applications if they're dislocated or if they're just looking for another job. We heard about partner reports. I wanted to introduce Rob Jackman. This is his first meeting, so he also provided us a partner report for Perkins at IECC. So good questions about Perkins and what Perkins can do for an individual who's needing assistance. Nate also shares information about the apprenticeship symposium.
All right, thanks, Chris. Does anyone have any questions for Chris on all 3 of her reports? Maybe stepped up to the plate. That's great. Yes, sir.
For the youth, one, as you noted, waiting on WIA authorization.
I'm looking to Tony because Tony and Jamie. Legislation's been out there for a while and just hasn't been approved.
It has been out there, and last update I received was it was looking pretty good across the aisle, that everyone was liking it. However, there's been a shakeup with that particular committee, the leadership. So we were told to anticipate a pause until new leadership has taken hold. And then once that is kind of solidified, they will most likely use the current reauthorization proposal as a starting point to kind of come up with something new. So it looks good now, but it could go either way depending on the new leadership of that particular committee that's escaping me right now. So fingers are crossed that they'll come up with something very shortly, but we all know the speed at which some of those committees work. So it might be another year before we hear anything.
Realistically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if they keep things the way they are, or close to what's in the current proposal, they will remove the youth in school versus youth out of school delineation there. It will all just be youth, which would make our lives easier, but also allow us to serve more youth without so many restraints on who we can and can't serve. So more people will benefit. And there's a really big focus on supportive services. So that's going to play out very well for our participants overall in all of our communities. So let's hope that they don't change it too much.
Any other questions? Okay, and there's no executive report because there wasn't an executive committee meeting. So no report there. So, do I have a motion to approve reports as they were presented by Chris? And let's see, do I have a second? I want to get a second. Okay, we got a second right there. Go ahead. Go ahead, Courtney. Okay, all right. Next, I know Lori's not here, our service provider report. Right?
Yeah. Lori couldn't be here tonight. She said she hated to talk about it. We've hired some new staff. We have a new person in Central in the office, so the office is open Friday. Mia Jones. She started on September 1st. Doing an excellent job, so we're glad she's located in the Christmas Center. We have a new care planner in Effingham. And she began on 9/8. Excellent job also. And then in order to open up the workforce center, we had to have a full-time resource person. So we hired somebody named Michelle Conway, and she will be sitting at the front desk in the one-stop time. So she just started last Monday. We opened today, and she was a little bit nervous, but everything went really well. So we do have a position open in Alney for a career planner and one in Mattoon. So if you know everybody's looking for work, tell them to call me or Lori, and we'll get a schedule for interview. We had programmatic and fiscal monitoring in May. We had our interview on June 2nd, and we were waiting for a report. We got the report today. We have there's no layoffs or plant closures. Rapid response events in the last 3 months. We have a bunch of people off. We are working with Flex and Gay. They have a dog fair in Mattoon on July 13th and 14th. And we had 2 employees who went out and said to screen people. They had some setbacks, so they have hired some people. They're in the process of hiring more. So we had a hard time getting them to coordinate with us, but we're in the process of getting that going. So we will be writing some on the job training contracts. Lori attended the Illinois Department of Corrections Education and Work Group meeting on July 27. Staff will busy throughout the summer months preparing for fall semester. They're at colleges with new enrollments and continue to develop dislocated worker youth programs. Looking for spring semester, we are actively recruiting adult and dislocated workers. We pretty much spent our youth money, so right now we're not taking youth. If we don't adult requirements, we're putting programs, so it's not like we're turning people away. Program. I and Maureen Hayes attended the Illinois Workforce Partnership meeting, Works Banquet on September 8th in Springfield, where our award winner, Sydney Troutman, she was from Robinson, I believe, was recognized with the other state award winners. They were a real nice award program. She couldn't attend, but we did get her award. We are still attending IWP Illinois Workforce Partnership meetings and performance workers meetings that they're having. So far, it's all been Zoom. Worked out good for us. Travel. As of August the 31st, we have 376 customers receiving career and training services throughout our counties and our programs. And we've had 10 customers in investments and Target. So we've served up to date 386 people. Our new program we started July 1. Also, we have an application, a real application on our CEFS website. So anybody that wants to apply doesn't even have to come to the office now. They can just go onto that website and use the form and have them come in because we like to sit down with them and talk to them. Yeah, pretty much. So that's worked out really well. Another big change we've had recently, the trade program, which everybody hated. We thought it was a pain to run, has been discontinued. It was a program that was set up years ago because of the economy, and now they have done away with it totally. But the people will be served under the discipline program, so it's not like we're not going to serve those people. And the trade program is for people that were laid off because the company or the products went overseas. The biggest problem that I can see with that is trade customers got some really good benefits. Now they will get the same benefits as the second worker, so they will be served. Program. So, anybody have any questions? We'll see you in referral. So if you got anybody that's interested in training, come in one of our offices.
I have a question. Someone applies, what is the timeline for turnaround to see if they're approved, or is there a timeline by which they must apply before they would want to start some training classes?
Once for spring semester, that starts in January. We would like to see them by the 1st of December. But they can come in anytime and get their name on the list, the people waiting list, and they want to start or another activity, then we'll call them. So anytime, they can go in anytime and do the application online, and then somebody will get in contact with them. Once we start the application, we have to do testing. It usually takes about a week to get a process. But I mean, we can do an application in 20 minutes, but it's just all the other stuff that leads up to that. You know, if they're going to go to school, they have to go to college, they have to be, you know, go through the college process, they have to see an advisor, they have to do orientation, those kinds of things. So, but I mean, as far as our paperwork and stuff, it can all be done in one day. You're welcome. Anybody else? Thank you.
Good report, Jude. Thank you very much. All right, Jamie, you're up. Fiscal
My turn
agent report.
already. All right. Hello, guys. Dinner was good, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice to see you all here. Let's get into fiscal agent report. So today, you know where you're at. You kind of probably know what day it is. And everything on my screen is backwards. So I want to go over some important dates with you guys. The board reappointments are due to DCEO September 30th, 2022. That's why you see some new faces in the crowd. We have Courtney Yockey, we have Cassie Eigert, Sydney Linville, and Carolyn Jorgensen. Y'all can wave, say hi. They are new, and we anticipate having some new ones in December as well. Tony's getting all the paperwork together to have that shipped to DCO by September 30th. Just to kind of put it in a little bit of perspective though, the recertifications we sent last September, we just got the approval for like 2 weeks ago. So they're a little bit delayed, but we are on time. Also, our local performance negotiations with DCO are coming up on September 27th. So that's just next week. All of these programs that Elaine was talking about, we have to measure how well we're doing in each of those programs. So we look at several different criteria for each program, and going into the year, we negotiate what our goals should be with DCO. We have a pretty good idea of how good we think we can do, and they have their idea, and we got to come together somewhere in the middle so that we can all agree and have that on file and set those goals is something that we work towards throughout the year. So we have submitted our proposal to DCO and we will negotiate that on September 27th. So be on the lookout for more information coming from that early October. Then looking at November, we have National Apprenticeship Week, November 14th through 18th. So if there's anything going on in your area celebrating, recognizing, highlighting apprenticeships, please let us know. We will share that with DCEO so we can get word spread all around the area of all the great things going on here. And then just so you have it on your calendars already, our December board and CEO meetings will be December 12th, and they will be in the same location. CEFS is getting new carpeting. They think they'll be done in November, but based on how everything's been running lately and all the delays, we're not banking on that. So we're just going to plan to be here December 12th. All right, and then Nate gave the apprenticeship expansion grant update. Elaine talked about our success story winner. You guys voted, and Sydney Shopman was our success story. We submitted her information to the Illinois Workforce Partnership, the IWP Awards. So she was recognized at the awards banquet, but she was not able to attend in person. She did get her certificate and a gift card as a reward. So she, if I remember correctly, she went through the nursing program while she was pregnant, gave birth while she was in the program, maintained a GPA of like 3.7 or something incredible, and then continued to finish while raising an infant. And now she has moved on and she is obtaining her bachelor's in nursing. So she's unstoppable. It was really cool to hear her story and to see her hard work recognized. So along those same lines, the Illinois Workforce Partnership Awards, they were on September 8th. There is a recording that's available on Facebook. I've posted it to our Facebook page, and I know you all check that every day, right? You've already seen the clip. You feel like you were there. You didn't miss anything. I know it was exciting stuff, but it was really cool to see all the wonderful stories, all the successes across the state go through. That there were a couple times that I teared up. I'm pretty sure Tony was bawling at one point because it was good. You definitely got to go next year. So looking at some of the fiscal stuff, our incumbent worker training projects, that was included in your packets, and Debbie talked about them in the Planning and Oversight Committee meeting. We have quite a few on board, and they're ranging mostly in manufacturing, but we got some agriculture, some logistics, and even some construction in there. We have a lot of lean leadership programs going on, value stream mapping, industrial maintenance apprenticeship, whoop, whoop, welding, machinist, and CDL. CDL has been a hot topic lately, so be ready to see more on that as well. So Elaine alluded to the monitoring results, and as of Friday, when I was whipping this up, we were still waiting on our final letter from DCEO. Well, we received that this morning. There were about 9 findings on the letter, but 7 of them are clerical errors, about 7. There were a couple things that, yeah, there were some findings. None of them resulted in any disallowed costs, but trade, usually you didn't check that box, should have checked it, oops, but it's a finding. So we will be responding to that final letter and submitting that to DCEO within the next 30 days, and then seeing from there if they will remove some of those more clerical errors away from those findings. So we will keep you posted, and you will find more information on that in December's meeting. So just to kind of cap off what happened at the end of June, after our June meeting, we closed out plan year 21. So we spent 91.3% of our budget, and that was under budget by about 31,000. For our key metrics, we did not meet our youth in school because we were not serving that 50-50 split. Traditionally, youth in school versus youth out of school, we have to serve 75% of our participants must be youth out of school. That's the hardest population to reach, the population that needs it the most, but really hard to reach, and only 25% can be youth in school. That's a really easy population to reach because they're all in class and we can go get them, grab them, and do things with them. But we have these, because of WIOA, we have these ratios. During the pandemic, we were able to get a waiver to bring that instead of from 75 to 25 to 50-50. Awesome. But in our great stride to serve as many people as we could, as fast as we could, because our money was getting ready to expire, our fiscal year, plan year, we served pretty much anyone who needed help. We didn't care where they came from, who they were. If you need help, come in. So we predominantly ended up spending money on youth in school. So we are not meeting that 50%. Also, we just missed the youth 20% work experience. Out of all the youth funds that we have to spend, at least 20% must be going to youth work experience, getting them on the job, getting them to understand what it's like to work. We aim for 20%. We only missed by a couple percentage points, if I remember correctly. Like we hit 17%, I think. So not too bad. Then another one of the fund requirements we have is no more than 50% of our budget can go to overhead. So most of the dollars have to go to training, and that makes a lot of sense. And we were well above our 50% requirement for training. The MOU billings for last year are all received. Yay. So we don't have to worry about billings for a little while. And then for incumbent worker, we paid out over $67,000 in plan year 21. We carried over $60,000 into plan year 22, and that gives us $140,000 available for plan year 22. Then I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the fact, yes, we have some new board members, and that's super exciting, but we do have some board members who have left us, and I don't think any of them are attending today. Yeah, so Lewis Ryder has retired from the board. So I'd like to thank him for his dedication, strategic vision, outstanding contributions to LWIA 23. He's been a member since 2003, so that's like forever. Then Tiffany Mackey, she is off of the board for now. She may rejoin us later, but she was a member since 2007, and we're really grateful for all of her leadership and vision. Then Stacy Park was a member since 2012. Dave Cole since 2013, and it keeps going, another page. Then Patty Metzger since 2016, Lisa Erbacher since 2021, and Adam Flack since 2021. So again, thank you to those retiring board members. So I want to tell you guys about September. September is Workforce Development Month, and being the Workforce Development Board, I feel like we should recognize it. And we have this really cool thing called WIN, Workforce Innovation. It's our podcast that we do. So I thought it would be great to dedicate a mini series of podcast episodes to September Workforce Development Month. So this month we are releasing 3 mini episodes. 2 have already gone live, and you know that because you've already subscribed. You're also following us on Facebook, so you got those notifications. You're following us on YouTube. So you all already know about this and you've heard all of them, right? I thought so. But really seriously, check them out anywhere you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify. Just type in WIN Workforce Innovation News. You'll find us and listen to some of the new episodes. They're super exciting, and listen to some of the old ones too. I also want to let you know that this is a function, a service that is available to you, to our members, to our partners, to people out in the community. If you have something going on, an event you want to talk about, just any good news that you want to kind of discuss, get some input, and you want a platform to share that information, let me know and we can record a podcast. They only take 30 minutes. We talk for about 25 minutes. Someone else does the editing, so they make it look really good. They cut out all the parts where I stumble and trip up. And Doug, the producer, his turnaround time's pretty quick. I've got him to turn around in a day before. I don't want to always do that, but he can easily get a episode edited within a week. And then those episodes are ours. We can share them however we want to. And so we can give them to you and you can share them with your network. So please, if you have anything going on, you want just a little bit more outreach, a little bit more exposure, let me know. We'll schedule a quick, it can be phone call. We can do it over Zoom. If the video's good, we have the video on our YouTube page. So it is there, it's available for you, please utilize it. And if I call you telling you that I got a really good idea and I want to talk to you, you kind of got to talk to me. You got to join in, it's fun. To kind of tag along on that as well, just remember we do have social media. The most prevalent way of spreading a word is word of mouth. That's invaluable, but it's also really hard to control. We don't get to control who says what about us. What we can kind of control is our social media, and that's free. So please follow us. We have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Share the content. Send it out through your network so that local businesses, participants, anyone interested in workforce, because I know there's tons of workforce geeks out there, have them follow so that they can get information. And if they have stuff they want us to share, send us ideas. So not only do we want to know about like rapid response events and when bad things happen and when we got to respond and we got to get out there and we got to save the day. We also want to talk about the good things. So Debbie, I believe, came across the CBS Sunday morning report that featured KZ, the home of the world's largest rocking chair, world's largest golf tee, largest pitchfork, all the largest stuff. That is really cool to see our little town of KC featured on the CBS Sunday morning. We know there's a ton of good things going on across our entire area, and we want to know about them. We want to share them and celebrate them with you guys. So yes, we're here when things get bad, but we also want to be your champions when things go really well. So this is one example of stuff that we could share, we can promote. Anything you have going on similar, send it our way so we can be sharing good news as well. With that, that concludes my fiscal agent report. Do you have any questions? If there's no questions, is it all right if I go on to the next item? All right, so the next item is regional plan modification. So our current regional plan, it was modified to include COVID-19 impacts to the local workforce. So our regional planning team, consisting of a bunch of people that are in this room now and a whole bunch of other people, we all got together to talk about how COVID-19 impacted our workforce, how we responded to it, what's going on, what we think is going to happen, what are our takeaways, the good things that came out of it that we're going to continue, and the things that we realize we don't need to do anymore. So we put all of those thoughts, ideas, data, we put it all together into a modified plan and we submitted it to DCO because that's what we do with everything. And they came back with some suggested improvements and some required revisions. Full transparency, a lot of the required revisions were because I didn't attach all the right attachments. So that took a whole lot of them off. But then there was a lot of focus in our chapter 4 on just providing more detail of what we're doing in response to COVID and how it impacted our customers. So we all got together, put more detail into that. And that modified plan can be found on our website. And Debbie sent out the link with your board packet. So I know y'all read through that whole big long regional plan. And yeah, so if you guys approve that, then we will send the cover letter to DCO, and then that technically went into effect July 1st of this year, but well, as soon as it's approved, it goes into effect. So I request that we vote on approving the modifications.
Yeah, in the link that Debbie sent out in the, if you notice, the regional plan is like 59 pages. Pages, but she was kind enough to do the little summary. So there were 18 pages of the little yellow things. Okay, so it was a quick read. It wasn't that bad. So those are basically the amendments that are being made to the plan, to the 59 pages. So and they recommended that we approve it. I would recommend it as well. So as we look at this, we do need to take action on this. So I do need a motion to approve the amendments to our regional plan that have been laid out in this report. So do I have a motion to do that?
So moved.
Okay, Chris makes a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, a second. Thank you. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, hopefully that's clear as mud. And it is, as Jamie said, it's all about changes and what happened with COVID for the most part, and what we've done about it, how you're going to change because of it. So we appreciate everybody's hard work on getting those changes made. And so we appreciate that. Item 9, other business. If I have any other business they'd like to mention, we also have we have this mentioned as a member opportunity to share. And although this is about workforce, I mean, Elaine mentioned that there were no rapid responses. I mean, that's a good thing the past 3 months. We're happy to hear there's no rapid responses because that means our communities are doing better, okay? So of course, I'm from Crawford County. we have a lot of things going on in Crawford County. We've got a Hershey plant that's expanding, that's adding 140 some jobs. We've got a brand new truck wash that's expanding. We just got another new restaurant. So we have a lot of good things happening in Crawford County that we're very thankful for. Those are the kind of stories we like to hear from your counties as well, okay? And we hear the bad news all the time. We get flooded with bad news. We're sick of it, aren't we? So let's hear something good, you know? So as you think of that, if someone has something tonight you want to mention that's going on in your county, we'd love to hear it. But if you say not tonight, think about it for next meeting and bring something to share, something positive that's happening in your county, okay? Does anyone have anything tonight? I've already shared mine, part of mine anyway, from Crawford County, because we got such an awesome county. So very proud of our county. So, but if no one has anything they want to share with us, that's fine. Move on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Courtney.
Just real quick, Elaine noted election date earlier.
Mhm.
They're really starting to get ramped up. They've got 200 hired now, trying to get to that 3 by the end of the year. They're going to go ahead and extend it to phase 2 to occupy the entire building. This afternoon, their GM here local, Daryl, he noted during the county board meeting, they're looking in the next 3 years to get to 800 to 1,300. So definitely a prominent employer here, and having to use resources in the training system.
You know what's going to be manufactured at that facility for Flex Engage?
Oh, it's forward lighting. So doing the headlights forward is a big customer for them. They've got another customer that's haven't spoke a lot about, but then also looking at other opportunities to bring in. They've had a lot of good remarks, a lot of good meetings before. They've definitely not had a chance to see the facility. Try to get them out there to it's definitely a flagship.
Great. Good news. Good news. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? All right. If not, we're to item 10. Any public comment? Does anyone have anything? They want to make a comment? Concerning. If there's not any comments, we'll move on to our last item, which is a motion to adjourn. So moved. All right, Kevin. And do I have a second? Anybody want a second?
Second.
All right, Chris, second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for enduring my first meeting as chairman. We'll try to improve from there here. Okay? All right.
Thank you all.
Now, for the CEOs, stay around. Nancy needs you for a few minutes as well, okay?
That's right. I almost forgot about that. I'll keep the recording going, so. Thank you guys for coming. We'll be reaching out to you guys soon to do orientations, so all of this will make a little bit more sense, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's good to meet you guys too. I'm excited.
Next time I'll tell you guys about our 56 referrals to Mount Vernon. Now, only haven't had as many, but just I'm not quite region here, but we had an amazing amount of referrals from our STEM program, which is our youth high school program for young for the apprenticeship type of thing. So
Okay.
it's phenomenal, but I want to check with Omaha to see where they're at. I've just talked to Mount Vernon, you know,
Yeah,
this last week, but my own people have been on vacation, so.
of course. That's how it works out. Have a good night.
Should I leave this here? then?
Yeah, leave it here. We'll read
Yeah,
it.
nice to meet you.
So be mindful what comes across the microphone, the camera. So we are recording for the LWIA 23 quarterly CEO meeting on September 19th, 2022 at the Effingham Event Center.
Hey, with the CEOs. We have any CEOs? You want to move on to down forward?
CEOs, if you want to move this way, that way the camera and the mic will pick you up. Yeah, the owl doesn't fly very far.
Ask this one right here. It's you. You got the names.
I'm going to defer to you on that one.
That's what I was afraid of.
I'm going to try and you jump in. Wait, it's
We're
just the
waving at
public
you,
ones,
Jim.
right?
Well, that's all they really care about.
Okay, let's have
There's
a
first
roll call, please. All right.
Hold on.
Tom Beard,
Hello, yes.
Jim Boland,
Here.
Jim Brewer,
Here.
Dave Cohen,
Here.
Joe Gilliland, Dennis Gray, Billy Huddle, John Perry, Nancy Curry, here, Debbie Smith, Jeff Boyd,
Here.
Nicole Wagner, Jason Wolfle.
Here.
We have a four.
Wonderful. All right, thank you. All right. I hope everyone had a chance to look at the minutes.
Move their approval.
Thank you. In a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Number 3, conflict of interest disclosure. Anyone feel like being conflict? Moving on. Approval of the public sector board members that was discussed in the board meeting. The new members, I think we're all present here tonight.
New with us next month.
Debbie, I can't hear it all, so you might have to tell me when if somebody's talking to me.
Yeah, you might have to get closer. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. We're on number 4 of the agenda to approve the public sector board members. Do I have a, thank you.
I'll second.
Second? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Thank you.
Jeff, what question? You have a question?
Well, I think I answered it myself. I read it. We'll be doing that again next meeting, because there'll be additional ones.
I think the ones from next meeting, you take this one.
Okay, so the CEOs as a whole are responsible for appointing the public sector members. You as individuals are responsible for appointing the private sector from your county. So this, what you just approved now was the 3 people that were in the public sector, DRS person. And
Carolyn Jorgensen,
Carolyn Jorgensen, Courtney Yockey for economic development. Who was the other one?
Casey Burgles.
And Casey for Patty Bennett or Patty Metzger.
And she's DES.
And she's the Department of Employment Security. So just to get it in the minutes, just like I said, CEOs as a whole has to approve those 3.
Okay,
Thanks,
now
Tom.
I have-
And the next, to answer your question, next meeting, no, they won't do this again.
Okay.
We will be good. They will be official as of October 1.
Very good. Thanks, Toby.
Okay, and I had an approval on that one, voted and seconded. 5, signatory authority update. Yeah, so September 16th, Greg Nuxel, the Vice President for Business Services at Lakeland College, signed for us using the signatory authority on the Plan Year 22 formula funds. That has been the only signatory authority update since June's meetings. All right. On number 6, board attendance report, reappointments. Okay, so the attendance part, I'm sure you all have already taken a look to see the board members from your counties who are attending, who are not attending. The ones that I have highlighted as to keep an eye on, they are all, for the most part, leaving. So I don't foresee anything that you need to do immediately other than just keep an eye, your board members that you have selected. Just please continue to encourage them that we have seen there's a direct correlation with the participation of the board member in board meetings with how much money goes to your counties. It's not because they're here and I'm handing them the money, but because they are engaged, they're active in their communities, they care. So if you pick a board member that cares and is engaged and active, that's only going to benefit your counties. As far as reappointments go, Tony did all of the paperwork for reappointments. So everyone that's on the board currently and is staying on the board, that all has to be submitted by September 30th. You did all the paperwork for everyone, including the new people,
The new
correct?
people, the three you just voted on, and then Cumberland County, Todd appointed Sydney Linville, and Clay County, we got Cassie Eigert for Lisa Erbacher. So they're the only two private sector folks that are going to be appointed.
Thank you. Number 7, in old business or new business. Does anyone have anything? If not, I'll just mention that the next meeting is December 12th. As Jamie said, it will be here in this room. The following meetings, if you want to know, are March the 20th and June the 12th. Number 8, public comment. 9, closing remarks, as always, be safe going home. And 10, do I have a motion for? Thank you. Second?
I'll second it.
Too late.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you. I will stop recording now. You all have a wonderful